Well, g'day guys. This video is just going to be a bit of a short update on the D11s. You might be able to see here, up there's a bit of metal being welded onto the top. Now what we're doing is we're going to fit some thick mesh on the top there to act a bit like a hungry board, and yeah, that way we can just push a bit more dirt and also help protect from any sticks and that coming through and jamming into the radiator and hydraulic hoses and things like that. So that's one thing going on with Tiny 2. The other thing is here with Tiny 2, the chains are wearing out. Now, this is the one we got re-lugged. And when we organised to get this re-lugged, it was, probably over a year ago now. And so I had all the parts sitting there, but it just didn't work to get it done at the time. Now, in the meantime, we've had floods and it's been doing a lot of work in the mud. And what we think's happening is the mud, obviously we don't like working in the mud, but we just got to do what we've got to do. But it's actually getting into the pins, we think, and causing them to heat up and stretch and wear out in the pins. Now these tracks are too far gone to fix them up, so it sort of looks maybe like we probably shouldn't have re-lugged it, but it's hindsight is a wonderful thing. At the time the chains didn't seem to be too bad. We thought we were going to get a lot more life out of them, so we thought it was worth to re-lug. Yeah, so we've got to work out exactly what we're doing there. We do have a few ideas, and a couple of weeks ago, the old man filmed a little bit of footage of sort of what we think is we're going to do with them. So we'll shoot back to that footage, and that should explain a bit of what's going on with the tracks.
Now it's Peter meets Peter.
Oh geez, this is good.
Now Pete, can you just explain, I'm going to explain to the boys that on Tiny 1, we had new Burco chains.
Yep.
And they've done 3,000 hours. 7 of the pins on one side are getting warm. They normally run at 40 degrees and 7 of them are running at 50 degrees. So we need to change them out and get them repaired. So we bought these tracks off you. Now can you just give us a brief outline as to what you've done to them to this point?
Yeah, so the track's about 78mm, the grouse is about 78mm. They've got new, just been a pit and bush turn, so it's called a V-lube, I think it is. Masculine Toowoomba did it, so they're better than OEM set in my opinion, but they use genuine pins, but they've,
very
it's about
good.
as good as you're going to get, I think.
So here we are at Tiny 1. This is the right hand side. And as I was saying earlier, we've got 7 pins that are running at 50 degrees instead of the normal 40 degrees. So our plan is, and it's only on the right hand side track that's happening, on the left hand side they're all running 40. So our rough plan is, these tracks that have just arrived are in good condition. We'll roll them onto Tiny 1 and then take the tracks off Tiny 1, get them a pin turn, hopefully without needing new pins, and that'll be a relatively cheap outcome, and then we'll roll them onto Tiny 2. These tracks should be really good to do what we need doing. But that's the rough plan, so we'll just see how that all works out.
So yeah, this is a reconditioned set of tracks on Tiny 1. So you can see they're the heavy duty ones. So even though it looks a bit stumpy, that is still not far off, yeah, new. So I think they're about nearly 80 mils, and I think they're about 100 mils when they're new. So should have a lot more traction on for this, and yeah, should be good. Now, a few people are probably wondering why we don't clean out the mud all in here, and we probably should, but with the way the weather's been at the minute and when we've been needing to use it, we can spend 4 hours cleaning this and then we go and use it for half an hour and it's just as bad. So it's not ideal, but just the conditions we're using. It's sort of what we've got to do. To summarise up the brief plan. So now this has got a good set of chains and tracks on it. The ones we took off Tiny 1 here, they were a new set of Burco chains about 3,000 hours ago, I think. The plan is we're sending those ones that were on this, we've already sent them down to get them refurbished and yeah, turned and get them all sorted, and then they will go straight onto Tiny 2. Because Tiny 2's chains, like we said, are just getting a bit too gone, which is a bit of a shame, because we do like the wider grouser plates for a bit better flotation, and also with the new lugs on it, it's yeah, really good. But we may, who knows, it may work to swap over the grousers, but the problem is when you swap grousers over, you've got these bolts and they're not cheap, and you've got 4 per grouser plate. There's quite a few grouser plates per side, obviously, so it all adds up quick. So just replacing the bolts to put new grousers on is pretty pricey. But anyway, we've still got to sort that side of things out. But yeah, there'll be a bit of track swapping going on. I'm not sure if I've shown this in a different video, but yeah, we can actually do the tracks up to the right torque. So we've got the hydraulic pump here, and then we've got in this little box here, so we've got two different sizes, and yeah, these make life so much easier when you're dealing with D11s, because a lot of the torque figures are insane. So we've got, you can see this chart here. So this is how we roughly know what pressure we want to run at, and that gives us whatever torque we're chasing. So you can say that's 4,500 Newton meters, which is 3,300 foot-pounds of torque we can go up to on that one. And the other one here, so the 1.5 one, it goes up to, yeah, over 5,500 foot-pounds, which is a bit over 7,500 Newton meters. We shouldn't need to go that high on a lot of them, but I don't know the specific torque figures for the track bolts or the joining links, but yeah, it just makes it so much easier, particularly when we're doing the mid-rollers or anything like that, because yeah, we know we can get the right torque. So how it roughly works is you hook up this to the hoses from that pump, and then yeah, you can move this around, so you move that around to whatever you need, and jam that in up against something, and then yeah, then that just turns that up there. It's nice that there's quite a few meters worth of cable, because yeah, it is a bit nerve-wracking being close to this thing, working pretty hard. But yeah, it's a lot safer way of doing it, and your rattle guns, air-operated rattle guns, just can't get the torque that's needed. So if you can't do things to the proper torque, then they're always coming loose, and yeah, it's just not fun. So we've had this for a little while now, but I don't think I've actually shown you guys that we've had it. So yeah, that's it anyway. Back here at Tiny 2. Now, we do have that multi-shank ripper to go onto this. Not quite sure when we're going to get to that. There's quite a fair bit of other stuff going on. Obviously, you've got to swap out the ripper frame as well. They're a different frame. So yeah, that will happen hopefully this year sometime. but yeah, that will be happening. And obviously we'll have new bushes and everything going in on the new when we do that, so that should be good to go for a while after that. There's a lot of other stuff going on at the minute, so there'll be hopefully plenty more footage of all of that. That'll be the end of the video, so we'll catch you in the next one.